Welcome to the Gridiron Fantasy Football. It's the Gridiron. Welcome to the Gridiron.
The Gridiron.
I'm going to kick it off by talking about some records. Interestingly enough, there's some high stakes this week in terms of Grady Gridiron history. First, though, Annie, congratulations on cementing your playoff place.
Woo, go Annie.
Okay, so this week, Annie is heading into week 11 with a 7-game win streak. So if she wins this week, she's going to tie the all-time win streak record in the league of 8. 2 times this has previously happened was Travis last year and Joe in 2016. So history to be made if Annie wins this week. On the flip side of that, Luke is heading in with a 8-game losing streak. And if he loses this week and he hits 9, that ties the all-time losing streak as well, with myself in 2019 and Aiden in 2018. So both ends of the spectrum, we could have ties for the record length of winning and losing.
It's actually pretty cool.
It is cool.
I think the record for starting a season was set with me going 5-0.
It was.
Be cool. I think the longest win streak is cooler, though. Like, that's a cooler record.
Yeah.
Because it matters more. Like, who cares how you start? The longest streak is the longest streak.
Totally. I don't remember what Travis was at last year or the year before, but I think 9-1 after 10 weeks might be the best record at that point too. I think he might have had 2 losses.
I don't think he got to 10-0. No, he definitely didn't because of the streak.
Yeah, well, he could have. Yeah.
Yeah, Annie, we think you tied the best all-time record at 9-1 right now. Do you have a chance to set the record at 10-1?
She either set the new best record of 9-1 at this point.
Yeah.
Or has tied it.
Yeah. Travis, let us know what your record cap was last year, because it's hard to see because of the data.
Yeah. Okay. So more records. I'm going to test you on this, Eli. This year, going into this year, who has had the longest playoff streak? So, like, who's made the playoffs the most times in a row?
Did Sam make the playoffs last year?
Sam is not the correct answer.
No. It might be Jason.
It's not. It's Pops.
It's Pops.
4 times in a row he's made the playoffs. And I just did the deep dive. 7 out of the last 8 years, or 7 out of the 8 years we've had the league, he's made the playoffs.
Oh, wow.
So this year he's running the risk of missing it for only the 2nd time and breaking the longest current streak.
It's kind of like the Hawks making the playoffs with Russ.
Yeah. Similar vein, who's got the 2nd longest streak behind Pops at 3 years running now?
Joe?
You're going to be surprised.
It's not me, because I had missed it 2 years ago. It's not you. Gramps?
Aiden. Yeah, and he's also running the risk of missing out this year. So,
dang.
Our 2 longest playoff streakers are probably going to miss out this year.
Huh. Looks like it's not the year to streak. Except if you're Annie, streaking wins.
Yeah.
That's some cool history, man.
Yeah. I think that's kind of my deep dive of the week. There's some other things, but yeah, people have been like making or missing the playoffs on like terms of at most 2 years besides Pops and Aiden. So
yeah, I know. I seem bummed. I am bummed. I'm still reeling from the loss of Cup. It sucks.
Yeah, Eli's been all sad and plodding around the house this week, thinking that he lost his championship when Cup went down.
Yeah, it almost ruined me and Emily's relationship. Almost got fired at work. I gained like 40 pounds. I might have illnesses.
I don't think it's gonna hurt you as much as you think it is. I mean, it's a loss, but
yeah, I mean, he's arguably the best player in fantasy, and
yeah, maybe.
I mean, Tyreek was the #1 receiver by a couple tenths of a point.
You had gotten to 5-0 without him.
Oh, I'm just saying, the biggest loss in fantasy. It's hard to argue it's not the best player in fantasy losing them. So it's like, man, I'm gutted. Luckily, my team is so strong, I'm gonna be fine and win the playoffs, but I'm just mourning the loss of Cup, even though I hate Cup as a player, and I hate the Rams. It's awesome for the Hawks. And it's cooler if I win the playoffs without Cup, which I will. Except I don't want to pull an AJ and keep saying my team's gonna perform better than it is. Sorry, AJ. You keep saying it.
To be fair, he's changed his opinions the last couple weeks.
That's true. It's true. But man, I just felt it's the difference between thinking like I'm consolidating my losses, I'm building my team up, trading away strength to build that starting roster, like I feel really good. Now I'm like, man, I'm just another just another
loser.
Bingo ball in the basket. Just another scratch ticket, you know?
feel like you're just gonna have a forgotten season while someone else gets all the glory and fame.
I thought my team, personally, I thought it was more well-rounded than Sam and Annie's because of the strength of Kelsey, and I thought that would be the edge in the playoffs. And now that they have like Jefferson and Reek, and I don't have Cup, it's like, man, their teams kind of look stronger than mine, and that sucks. To go from feeling like I have the best overall team to clearly I think I'm in like 4th now, at highest, if not lower.
Dude, anything can happen.
Yeah, I'm just bummed. Really bummed.
Remember when Travis's team looked like a juggernaut and nothing could stop it, except for one Ben Roethlisberger game?
Oh yeah. No, anything can happen, but I will never be happy again.
Yeah. Okay. On that note, anything you want to talk about that happened this week? Last week, I mean, I was surprised I beat Kayla. Really helped me stay alive in this tight playoff race.
Yeah, well, we're getting to the point in the season where, I mean, this episode we're kind of focusing more on our feelings about the league, right?
Yeah.
I think all of us are starting to root clearly for and against people based on their standings. So, like,
yeah.
Previously, I haven't really cared who won, but now it matters. I don't have playoffs locked in. You don't have playoffs locked in. I'm really rooting for, like, AJ to beat Joe this week.
Me too. Yeah.
Derrick Henry scoring points. Wasn't really thinking about it last night watching the Titans game, but I woke up this morning and saw AJ with those points, and I was like, ooh, go AJ. Time to crush Joe. Let's slide Joe out. Let's
totally
level the playing field below you.
I thought the same thing when I was looking at Austin Hooper for Luke's team.
Yeah.
What a sweet start, dude.
Yeah, that was a great play. I'm playing Kayla this week. How do I feel about it? Honestly, our teams look pretty similar overall.
Oh.
She has an edge, but
I just saw this. Buffalo is stuck, or the Bills are seemingly stuck in Buffalo.
Oh, they moved the game to Detroit.
They moved the game to Detroit. The team is still in Buffalo, and there's maybe a slight risk that they can't get out in time. The reason that it might
like they
be
can't drive the bus in the snow to get to the airport.
There's like 6 feet of snow. They're stuck. The reason why this might be a bigger deal, and like maybe over the weekend it becomes like a storyline, is that Bills play on Thanksgiving, so on Thursday. So they can't just like push that game to Monday and then like, oh yeah, whatever.
That is
they have a Thursday Thanksgiving game that they can't cancel. They can't push that back to next week.
Huh.
So
yeah, there might be some drama coming up.
Probably not going to happen, but potentially we're looking at a forfeit situation where the Bills just can't make it to the game and they can't reschedule.
Have teams ever forfeited before?
I don't think it's
because
ever happened.
It is no longer
like modern history.
With the 17th week, if they've taken their bye, there is no longer an option to.
They both had their bye weeks.
Yeah.
So only other option, if they literally can't get out of Buffalo, is they cram the game in between like a Thursday night and a Monday night, and they like shuffle around the deck. I don't know. I doubt it.
That's
happens,
really interesting, actually.
I hope it does because I'm playing Josh Allen, and it'll be so awesome for him to put up.
Yeah, and I'm playing Equinemius St. Brown, and I just, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I just traded.
It's the Browns and the.
Yeah, but if the Lions
aren't involved,
they're just talking about moving it to the Lions Stadium. It's because the Lions are away.
It's moved to the Lions Stadium. That's a fact.
But the Lions aren't playing them; they're away.
Yeah, it's going to be the Cleveland Browns.
Right. Browntown. And I just traded for Amari Cooper.
Cooper would be out of that game, and on the other side, Kayla Chubb.
Well, that would help.
Again, don't think it's going to happen. It would just be really funny if it does.
Yeah. What else is going on?
I don't know.
Well, we're gonna have a guest walking in a sec. Emily, you're on the gridiron.
Oh,
Say hello.
hi. I was eating pizza.
Oh, thank you.
Where's mine?
Sorry, Dave.
Thank you, Emily. Well, I just got delivered a pizza ball. It's pretty awesome. No pizza for you.
It's okay. I already got
Um,
lunch.
really like getting food hand delivered to me. It's pretty sweet.
It is pretty sweet. Oh, I did another. You want to hear another statistical dive that I did?
Yeah, let me know while I eat this pizza.
So I looked back through our like predictions on this podcast for like each game,
Yeah.
the course of the season.
Yeah. Oh,
I have our records.
like our individual records?
Yeah, like how many we got right and wrong.
Dude, that's awesome. I want to know.
Okay. I have it by week 2.
Okay.
The first 2 weeks, I was 2 and 5. I was 2 and 5 and 3 and 4. You were 2 and 5 both weeks. So we didn't know anything.
Wow,
Yeah, we were both really wrong.
pretty bad.
But then week 3 on, at least for me, I've gone 5 and 2, 5 and 2, 5 and 2, 4 and 3, 5 and 2, 6 and 1, 5 and 2, 4 and 3.
Wow.
And you are essentially the exact same as me. So we pretty much picked identically. With
Yeah.
like one switched here and there. But
So we've been nailing it since week 2.
since after week 2 and like the craziness of like a brand new season started, we've been pretty accurate. So overall, I am at 44 and 26. You are at 43 and 27. AJ 10 and 9, and Tate 17 and 10.
Gotcha. So we're significantly better at predicting games than Tate and AJ?
Yeah.
Kids!
It was kind of funny when I was listening back. Tate had a tendency to like give hot takes, and almost every single one of his hot takes was wrong. Except for like there was an odd one or two, but like
Sure.
hot
That's not to
takes.
say we don't appreciate the alternative opinion.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And maybe if he knew we were keeping score of records, he might not bet against
I
the
mean-
odds. But, you know,
This is just for fun. I was just curious to see
Yeah.
how accurate we were. 'Cause
Yeah.
I felt like it would be worse than that. But we've been hitting it.
yeah, I'm surprised that we were that accurate. That's a pretty good score. Fantasy's pretty unpredictable, so.
Yeah. I think it kind of goes to show that like the teams that at least after week 3 we thought sucked, and the teams that we thought were good, I've kept on those paths.
Yeah.
Like Luke's been terrible since week 2. Gramps, Aiden, and AJ have all kind of sucked since week 2.
Yeah.
Annie, Sam, you, Kayla have all been good.
Yeah.
And then there's been the middle pack.
Yeah. Just, you said Gramps, and randomly I'm just thinking it's nuts that Fields has scored 97 points the past 2 weeks. It's just nuts.
Lamar did that earlier too. But yeah.
2 back-to-back 46-point weeks is crazy.
And didn't Gramps lose both those weeks?
I think he won last week. But he lost the week where Mixon got 55.
Yeah.
Gramps, how did you lose when Mixon got 55?
He lost by like a couple points.
Yeah. Actually, that's another thing I want to toot my own horn for predicting. I was when I was in Seattle, I was telling AJ I really wanted to trade for Mixon. Because every year Mixon has a massive game. 2 of them. And they haven't happened yet. So I was telling AJ, like, Mixon's got 2 big games brewing. Maybe I can pull him off Gramps for his current value, or his value skyrockets. I was trying to trade real hard for Mixon. Gramps wasn't having it, so props to Gramps. But AJ, I was right. Mixon had his massive game, and he will have another one. He'll score like 9, 12, 14, and then he'll score like 40. He always does it twice a season.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to trade with Gramps. I don't think he's ever accepted a trade offer to him.
I can't remember the time.
He offered me the Herbert trade, so
One-way traffic from Gramps.
only what he deems tradable.
Yeah, Gramps the
out.
master negotiator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Experience.
Wisdom and resolve. Anyways, what else is going on, dude? Trade deadline's coming up. You and I both have a desire to trade away our entire teams that we drafted,
It's true.
and we are both really close.
Yeah, you only have 2 players left, right?
The only people I have left that I drafted are Damian Pierce and Cortland Sutton.
Okay.
What about you?
I have Hopkins, I have Kamara, and I have DJ Moore.
So if you want those players, we will be slightly more inclined to trade them than normal because of our desires to replace our rosters with trades.
Last year you got really close. I think you only had Brady. Or
No, I
might
had
have
two.
been-
I had Brady and someone else.
Either way, you almost got to the promised land. You're again that close.
I'm really close.
It's gonna be tough to pull Pierce off you for something valuable because I know you love that guy.
And I love Pierce exactly what he's worth. If someone offered me,
What he's worth to you.
I mean, that's not true. Like, Pierce is RB15 and Jamal was RB16. And I,
Gibson was RB14. Would you have done a straight swap? So exactly.
but RB something isn't always the best stat.
I know.
Like, Pierce has been RB8 since week 2, so like,
Yeah.
he has the second most carries since week 2, so like, sometimes other metrics go more into play than.
I know. Like Hopkins is wide receiver like 30 something, but he's been top 3 since he came back.
Yeah, Pierce has been awesome. Maybe let's kind of on the cup loss train. What other losses have happened this season that are significant? I feel like overall there haven't, like last year we were getting decimated with season-ending injuries.
Barkley,
This year it has happened, but not to the stars as much.
is Cup the first rounder that's like down and out?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
ridiculous.
think he's even the first. Well, did someone draft Dobbins in the second round?
Jason took him in the 3rd, I believe.
Then the entire second round is healthy as well.
That's nuts.
That's crazy. That's pretty unprecedented, especially the running backs.
James Conner's
He
back.
scored 20 points last week.
Yeah.
They've been hurt. They've gone on IR stints.
Javonte Williams. That's a second rounder.
Good
But
point.
still, that's like crazy. We were missing a lot of big names last year.
And honestly, not to be mean to him, but Javonte should not have been a second round pick.
That was Luke.
Was it Luke?
Yeah.
Javonte should not have been a second round pick.
I disagree. I think he was fine.
Regardless, that's a big. Okay, so that's a big loss.
Sure.
That's what I'm after. Javonte doesn't. It's kind of a different realm than Cup, but it's up there. you know. Dobbins has been hurt.
Brees Hall, he was a 3rd rounder.
Brees Hall is a big loss, considering what he was when he got hurt.
He looked to be a number 1.
Who else?
I can't think of anything.
I know there's been more.
Elijah Mitchell,
Mitchell
but he's back. And I don't think he was drafted till like the 4th by Pops.
was drafted in the 4th by Pops. I mean, that's a loss, but he had Jeff Wilson until McCaff got there, so like. And now Jeff Wilson's kind of doing good, so.
For sure.
Yeah, honestly, there haven't been that many devastating injuries. And maybe it was giving us a false allure that our players are safe, but like, man.
Cups down. Yeah, it could really change things up if some other big name players go down. Like some of the top teams are kind of riding on the success of a couple players, like Annie specifically.
Yeah, like if Annie lost Tyreek, I think her team would look a lot different. If Sam loses Jefferson, I think his team looks a lot different. If Travis loses Barkley, his team looks a lot different. If you lost Hopkins, or if you lost Jonathan Taylor, it's different.
Totally.
Gramps loses Mixon, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, Gramps.
if AJ lost Derrick Henry.
Yeah. Gramps, we saw your text about how you're still mathematically alive. That is correct. Even though Luke is at 2-8, he's still mathematically alive. So
Math.
no one's out yet. I think maybe this week we're going to start to see some eliminations come through too.
I think it's highly likely we see an elimination come through, actually.
I mean, Luke could get eliminated even with a win.
Good.
It's just once people like get over that can't lose more than 8 threshold, that's when Luke's out.
Pretty much if Luke loses, he's out. Although, Luke, we're rooting for you. Pretty much everyone's rooting for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's awesome. What else happened this week? Any trades? I'd made a trade, but we talked enough about my team. I guess thinking about the trade deadline. Any thoughts on anything things that people should do to their teams?
No, I don't think so.
I have some advice to people, and it is, now is the time to take risks. Now is not the time to play it safe. So like, if you're looking at your team and you're thinking like, oh, I should hold on, maybe I could package a trade for my wide receiver 2 and a really good bench player for a better wide receiver 2. My advice is do it. If you want the best chance to win the playoffs, you need the best starting roster. Don't hold on to depth like a wimpy wimp. Go balls to the wall and make it happen, you know?
It's true.
And if you're in the position like where Jason is with Diggs, you can probably dig more value out of Diggs to someone like Sam or Travis who has more to offer, and you can improve your team and give yourself a better chance. Even though it would really bother me to see like Diggs on Sam's team, like your team could get better and Sam's team could get better. There's a lot that can happen to make everyone's teams better across the board. Basically, what I'm saying is at this point, I think teams with strength on benches, that strength is starting to become a weakness. You want to trade that into lineup power.
Yeah, it does you no good if your bench scores 60 points week
No.
1 in the playoffs and you lose by 5 points, you know?
No. And you want to go for it all. It won't feel good winning the playoffs playing it safe. Trust me. It only feels good winning the belt and the title if you went all in emotionally.
Speaking from experience, your 2 times.
Yeah, the first time was 100% me, and I was deeply invested.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just advising teams to risk it.
I mean, I love that strategy too.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm looking to make a couple more trades before.
I mean, like NFL teams do it. It's worth it. Like teams trade the future, and that's even different because it's next season. But teams go all in for one person. You know, like the teams that are thinking they're going to win the Super Bowl do everything they can to make it happen.
I know. It's just kind of hard because you get stuck between like, oh, I've gotten this far with this crew, you
Yeah.
know, and like, am I really gonna sail ship on some of these fellas?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's more of a 2-way street than a 1-way, I think.
I guess I can even speak from some experience this season here. I traded Harris, Ayuk, McLaurin for Cup. And that's kind of consolidating some startable players for a better startable player, right? Any of those guys are kind of flex level plays.
Yes.
But in my opinion, I was like, I'm going to give away 3 flexes for 1 awesome starter. Even with Cup getting hurt, looking back, I'm like, no, that was the right move. I don't regret not having those guys right now.
I agree.
Yeah.
Same boat. I traded away Aaron Jones and Metcalf for Taylor.
Yeah.
Didn't initially work out, but
Now it's kind of working out.
now I'm super happy that I have a stud running back who looks like he's chugging on again.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Just, I think we're already going to set the trade record this season, but I think we should try and blow it out of the water. Like, we have an opportunity to do something cool here in the Gridiron.
I think it's already been blown out of the water this
Let's-
year. It's awesome.
Blow some more, you know what I mean?
I agree. Yeah. Do you want to make some predictions this week on
Yeah.
matchups?
Yeah, really quick.
Let's do it. Do you have your phone on you?
Yeah, I got my phone. First off, we can just predict me and Kales, because I know we're playing each other.
Yeah, I've seen that game. I'm going to say Kayla.
Yeah, well, projection is
It's neck and
111.
neck.
111 to 115.
Yep.
She got slightly less than a projected score from Lazard. 8.2, still solid. Yeah, I don't know. Her running backs are better than mine, and her receivers are better than mine. Her quarterback is better than mine.
So,
Is Kelsey enough? No. Yeah, Kayla will probably win.
all right.
Who else is up?
Who's next?
Victory Man and the Load.
Oh, I've taken some time to look at this matchup this week, obviously, because it's my own, and I think I'm gonna win. I know I've said that so many times. I'm only 5-5, but I have good matchups this week, and Tate does not. He has really shit matchups. So
Yeah.
I gotta say, I think I might pull it out.
Yeah. Well, let's keep a close eye on this Josh Allen Snowmageddon and see what happens. Because if Allen's out, you're winning the game.
Yeah, I really don't think it's anything we have to worry about, but it could be really funny if it happens.
Next up is the Mud Dogs versus Luke.
I think Travis, but Luke definitely has a chance due to the 17-point Austin Hooper game.
Honestly, yeah, and Montgomery is playing Atlanta, which is a good matchup in my mind, and
No Herbert.
no Herbert, so that's awesome. Travis is having to start Nico Collins and a injured Gus Edwards this week.
Yeah, he's just got the star power.
Yeah.
Barkley and McCaff can
No,
go off.
I think Trav pulls it out, but I think Luke has a chance, which is awesome.
I agree.
Joe versus AJ.
I think AJ.
Man. Do you really?
Yes, I do. Joe,
You know what? I'm just realizing AJ is projected only at 82, but that's with Kyler at 0 points on the table right now. Like,
really?
He's questionable. Everything I've been reading says Kyler's going to play, but he still has 0 on the scoreboard right here.
Yeah, I mean, Derrick Henry had a good game. I mean, for Joe, Rogers, he did good for you, Joe. And who else did you play?
Joe also
Robert
played
Woods,
Robert Woods.
who did fine. He got 10 points. That's perfect.
Sure. I guess what I'm saying is, worst case, Kyler's out. AJ swaps in Heineke versus Houston. Heineke's projected at 17, so that puts AJ at 100 to Joe's 87. So AJ has the edge here already. Yeah, AJ's winning this game.
All right.
Dang, go AJ. Next up, the Big Diggler versus Twin Rova.
Unfortunately, I think Sam is going to win this. His team looks good. Jason's team looks bad.
Yeah, I wish I could rematch Sam again because I think our teams are more equal in the scoreboard. Represented last week. That's fine. I think Sam's going to make the playoffs, and I think I'm going to crush him in the playoffs. Which, Sam, by the way, you winning last week matters so little. It only matters in the playoffs. Only matters in the playoffs. So,
here's the thing, though. If you would have won last week, it would have been, your favorite win of the season, probably, right?
it wouldn't have mattered once the playoffs came. Like, yeah, I would have loved it. I'm sure he loves it now, but it only matters in the playoffs.
Sure.
And
if you guys even make the playoffs.
if we even make it. 7 wins is not enough.
Not right now.
It probably might be, but
We probably don't need any more, but yeah.
Also, Sam, that picture you sent of the quarterbacks as women was weird. And
It was weird, and I'm going to make it the thumbnail to this video, by the way.
well, I, for one, didn't like it. And I thought it was inappropriate. It was disgusting, Sam. Whatever
Yeah.
you're imagining, Sam,
Keep it to yourself.
keep it to yourself, dude. We don't want to know what goes on in that sick mind of yours. Probably don't tell your students about that kind of stuff either, dude. It's gross. And your team sucks. Okay, next up, and you're gonna win this week.
Yeah.
You're gonna crush this week. And your team is actually pretty awesome, even though it sucks.
We bagged on him so hard this year, but
I know, but that's why it's gonna be so satisfying when one of us beats him in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Chances are he makes the playoffs, and chances are he loses in the playoffs.
and chances are he doesn't get the first round bye, so he's got to play the whole gauntlet.
Exactly. And chances are it's like you, Kayla, me, or Trav in that first round. And chances are he doesn't make it all the way, so. Even though I feel less good about my team winning the finals now,
It's all about
God, it's so nice to know that when Sam loses in the playoffs, I'm going to be equally as delighted. It's awesome. Sam.
such a rivalry.
Sam. And he's going to be in Hawaii at the end of Christmas time.
Really?
Yeah, like the start of January.
Sweet.
So, is that when fantasy playoffs are?
Like round 1 maybe.
Like,
Like mid to late January is like the playoff games.
yeah.
Is it?
If Sam wins the finals, I might have to never talk to him ever again. Unfortunately for the family.
I just had a thought. Out of all the title winners, Sam is the last one to do so. I've won it more recently. Gramps has, you have, and Travis has.
Yeah. Yeah.
So out of all of the people who have won the title, Sam is the least recent, so he's got the least claim to it.
Sam has the least claim to it by far. By far.
Yeah.
And that year was just a sham.
It was a fluke.
It was a major fluke. And we all frenetted that season, too. We have definitely not never frenetted. We've always frenetted. Anyways,
what's next?
Aiden and Annie.
It's kind of close. Aiden's team is awesome. I love Aiden's team.
Yeah, and Hill is out, and Lockett's out, and Metcalf's out. So she's playing Mooney, Campbell, and McKenzie.
Aiden.
Yeah, and Aiden gets Jamal Williams to slap in there. I didn't make that trade with any collusion thinking that it hurts Annie this week, but it does, and I'm stoked about it.
Break up the win streak, dude. You could still go for number one.
No, I really didn't think about it, but now that I'm thinking about it, I should have thought about it. And now I'm going to claim credit for thinking about it. Ha! Annie.
If Annie loses this week, it's because of your trade.
Watch Jamal go off, Annie loses, and I win with a ton of points and somehow reclaim... Well, I can't reclaim
You can't this week, but you could, in theory, the next week.
Annie?
I
I think Aiden's going to win.
All right, so hold up. We're predicting that going for the longest losing streak is not going to happen because Luke's going to win. No, we said Travis. But we're going to say Annie doesn't take the title of longest win streak.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Roll with it. Let's roll with it.
Yeah.
Aiden.
Based on our records of predictions, we are more than likely correct. Also,
What we say happens.
I'm clinically depressed from Cup being out. Just want to touch on that again.
Get over it.
Next up, All Wise versus Tolt Demons. Really good performance from Christian Watson.
Sweet snag and play, Gramps. That was awesome.
Yeah, I tried to snag him too, but I didn't have enough.
Yeah, and Gramps, if you win this week, you thoroughly put yourself back in the playoff race, as you know.
Yeah.
You just need myself or Travis to lose.
Keenan's back.
Maybe. He's been almost back since week 2.
If Keenan's back, Gramps wins. If Keenan's out, Pops wins. Boom. That's my prediction.
That's not a prediction.
Gramps wins because Keenan is back.
Okay, I'm going to say Gramps too.
Cool. Well, there we have it. I'm too depressed to talk anymore. Sam sucks too much to talk anymore.
All right. This has been the Gridiron. Thank you, and good luck, everyone, in week 11.
This has been the Gridiron.
This has been the Gridiron.
The Gridiron.
AJ,
The Gridiron. The Gridiron.
Luke, Gramps,
Sam. The Gridiron.
Aiden, Gabe,
The Gridiron. The Gridiron. The Gridiron.
Travis, Aaron, Jason, the Gridiron Podcast, Gabriel Grady and Elijah Grady, Jason, Joe, Tate, new episodes streaming weekly, Eli, Annie, Kayla, make sure to like and subscribe. The Gridiron, the Gridiron, the Gridiron, the Gridiron.